and I'm proud to have appointed the first woman as a service chief in the history of this country. Clap for that.
It is my esteemed pleasure to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Donald Trump.
Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country, and if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke turns to shit.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
Booster now hovering as it aligns with the tower for catch.
Booster coming in.
As I fight through the battle with the party of death, I take a look at our right and realize they're barely left.
Can we get serious now?
Over the course of your life, you will find that things are not always fair. You will find that things happen to you that you do not deserve and that are not always warranted. But you have to put your head down and fight, fight, fight. Never, ever, ever give up. Don't give in, don't back down, and never stop doing what you know is right. Because this moment is your moment, it belongs to you. America has always been the land of dreams because America is a nation of true believers. And it's why we proudly proclaim that we are one nation under God. The story of America is the story of an adventure that began with deep faith, big dreams, and humble beginnings. And we are going to make our country great again.
What's going on, everybody? What a day. Yes, they caught him. Welcome, everyone. I'm George Molho, your host. I just rushed in from work because I wanted us all to be together today. Since we were here when Charlie got shot. Now, I didn't know Charlie Kirk, but I followed him for a while. Didn't always agree with everything he did. But we had a great American 31-year-old, a loving husband, a father of 2 children, the CEO of Turning Point, and he got publicly executed because he used his words to make the world a better place, while the media weaponized theirs to give fuel to evil. So now we come together, and they caught the suspect. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah has been taken into custody. How are y'all doing? Nick, it's good to see you. Cindic is here. Enchanted Butterfly, the lovely Sherry. How you doing? Beautiful. Always wonderful that everybody's here together. We're going to look at, this is the gentleman. That's not the word I would use for him ever again. This is a man who robbed 2 children of a father simply because he disagreed with what he was saying. This is where we've come to, where we used to be able to talk to one another. Hell, we could fight, whether it was in a bar, on a couch, on the back patio, Democrat, Republican, lefty, atheist, man of faith. It didn't matter. You could sit down as Americans. You could have a discussion over a cup of coffee, over cocktails. It didn't matter. We could talk to one another. But you get heated, and we would stand up, shake hands, or just walk away. But that would be the end of it. At most, some drunk would knock somebody else out. But now, people are taking matters into their own hands because they have been told day in and day out by a media regime, 24/7, that guy is Hitler. They're Yazis. What do you expect for the broken, for the losers, for the lefties, for the loons, for the furries who get in a fury to do when they hear that that person over there is some mustachioed midget? When they say it's Hitler, you're telling those people they are putting a target on people's backs because they're letting them know, hey, maybe you should step up. That's what they're telling them. They're coding them. There's evil in the land. They're divisive people, a threat to democracy. You have to do something. You have to do something. And this is how we ended up here. You know, Charlie Kirk was in the middle of answering a question about shootings, about mass shootings, and specifically the ones that have to do with the trans agenda. Good morning to you, Blue Dot. Good morning to you. Lucas, DMN, Sassy, always wonderful to see you, Sassy. She's got a sharp wit and a great channel. It just tells me that it's time. We've had enough. I want to show you, this is Tyler Robinson. This is him reading his acceptance letter before we get to the news conference from Utah. Just looks like an average, everyday bloke.
Okay. Congratulations. You have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
Woo, yeah. That was the animal. Oh, the alleged animal who took another man's life because he disagreed with him. I mean, process that for a moment. He took another man's life because he disagreed with him, because he was told that he's a threat to democracy, that he's a danger to society, that he's divisive to the country. It took him. It's still, I've been processing it for the last couple of days. I know that word processing. It's stuck in my head. How you can watch, how life goes in the blink of a second. But the thing is Charlie Kirk has left behind a legacy. He started as a teenager. He put once a post up to Glenn Beck, and he's like, I'm 17 years old. I fight liberals. I want to work with you. He just went out there because he believed he had a mission. He didn't complete college, but he rounded up everyone in a university, left or right, and he said, hey, come talk to me. My hand is extended to you. Welcome. You disagree with me? Let's debate it. You want to have a dialogue? Let's do it. You want to shake my hand? Here you go. There you go. I want to look at part of the news conference that happened today, about 45 minutes ago, because I think it's important to see. There's some key facts and some things that people aren't covering.
like the late 60s, and having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage, again, I would encourage people to log off.
I'm going to put a pin in that right there for a second. He's saying we have evolved to a point where we can't see that. Maybe he's right. Who wants to see a man live on television, on social media, get shot and die? Nobody. But he's also right another way, which is wrong. Think about it. We started as hunters and gatherers. We blazed trails through the forest, the hills, through the countryside, blood, guts on our hands, whether it was to put food on our table or to protect our families. And through the ages, we've come to a point where we no longer face reality. We flinch from reality. Instead of forging greatness, we walk backwards. I mean, some people would call that, evolution. We've become better human beings. But 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, what do we have? We have people celebrating character assassination. You could see it. There are hundreds of videos, a sight I never thought I would see. Hundreds of videos of people cheering Charlie's death, just cheering it, dancing to music, putting on performances. And you know what? Half of them actually believe it. The other half, what are they doing? They're just simply turning around and saying like, hey, I want to get some outrage clicks. So in part, he's right. But on the other hand, is this evolution that we've gone through, is it good? I mean, we've basically gone from hunters to house cats, declawed, domesticated, and defanged into nothing. Maybe it's time we say enough, that we stand back up. We say, no, I don't want to see somebody get killed on TV, but I also don't want to see people have their character assassins. I don't want to see people who are jumping up and down with joy because 2 children lost a father, or because the media said, I think this person is a bad guy. I think this person might be evil. No. Let me give you an example. You had a guy in the U.S. Navy, U.S. Petty Officer, U.S. Navy Petty Officer Highland. He posted this, and I was like, does he realize what he's doing? Conduct unbecoming? But he didn't care. He came out the other day, proud as could be, and told everybody how he feels about Charlie Kirk.
If you're celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, you're a bad person. You're going to hell. Fuck Charlie Kirk. The off-ramp to the high road is closed. We are not going to be made to feel bad about y'all bullshit hero that consistently spewed harmful rhetoric, that consistently put people's lives in danger with the bullshit platform that he was given by all of you racist goofies.
A man just was executed, assassinated, and this guy thought, it's okay, I'm going to come out of here and I'm going to tell everybody how I feel. You could say whatever you want, but there's a certain level of courtesy, of respect, of common decency. Hell, it's a somber moment. You had Stephen Colbert the other night. He knew his ass was on the line. The first thing he did on his late show, he's like, we've written all the scripts for the day, but now we have to talk about this. And he looked in the cameras, and he was trying, supposedly, to give send a message, to a part eulogy, condolences. And he says, Charlie Kirk, a right-wing activist, was killed. He couldn't even for 5 seconds be decent. And that's programmed people. That's programmed people. So we end up right now with a man dead. What they didn't understand, because you can see people being fired everywhere, what they didn't understand, what they didn't expect was the backlash. How this would stun a nation to its core, a people in the soul, where they would go, no, we have to stand up right now. I mean, you can see a writer from DC Comics was fired after she posted how, was the bullet okay? Dowd was fired from MSNBC. I think they should clean all the media out, pull their licenses, every single one of them, and start holding them to account. Hold them to account. Because you and I both know the mainstream media is dying, but it is time now. We can't wait. They just got to do it. Let's listen to some more of this.
Turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. Had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together. The Republic.
No, he never would have said that about MLK. Never, Lemon Trifle. No way. And nor would anybody else. But they think it's fair game because Charlie Kirk was MAGA. Because he wasn't one of them. They're like, okay, you can take your shots at him. You can do whatever you want. You can go make money while the man is being laid to rest, which is going to be, by the way, his funeral is going to be next week. And President Trump will be attending. Have you seen how all the condolences have poured in from around the world? That shows you how the man lit candles. He put a light in the darkness everywhere. That is meaning. He had a mission, and even in death, he is achieving it. He is moving forward. I feel bad for his family, for the children that will never know a father, for a wife who's now a widow. But Charlie Kirk is still here. He is still fighting. And now more than ever, because they have made millions of Charlies.
Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be, I mean, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there, but this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here. I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened. One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, he was turned in by his father. Think about the decision of that. Hey, Dante.
Hey, man.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Early. I know it's even earlier for you.
Oh, yeah. It's bright and early. That's
bright and
8 o'clock.
I know. I was at work, and Syndex sent me a message, and he's like, they caught him. So I rushed back immediately because, you want to be with everybody together to go through this.
Yeah, I saw I saw the pictures of the guy, man. He looks exactly like I thought he would look. Like minus the blue hair, but yeah.
Minus the blue hair. I know, but he looks so average every day. I was just playing his video where he was telling his parents, they filmed it, where he got accepted to the University of Utah.
Wait, so they're trying to humanize the guy now?
See, that's what I'm wondering. But he looks literally like your next door neighbor. There's some 18-year-old kid who's excited. Where to go? I want to show it to you because it's the way they've done it. I think you put it perfectly. They're trying to humanize him in a way. Again, the media is always going to cover their ass. They have fired so many people, and they realize that this is their last moment. But all of them aren't learning. All of them aren't learning. They continue to make the same mistakes. I was just saying, Stephen Colbert 2 nights ago, he broke out and he comes on the show and he's like, we wrote the scripts for the day. But now I got to say this. We had to add something else. Charlie Kirk, a prominent right-wing activist, was killed. He couldn't leave that out. Prominent right-wing. He couldn't just say Charlie Kirk, a husband, a father, a human being.
Right.
The founder of Turning Point was killed. He had to say prominent. He had to just salt it. He just sit there.
Well, that's what all the left-wing media is doing right now, man. It's like they're painting the brush of Yeah, it's sad he died, but remember he supported Trump, right? With the wink, wink.
Yep. And that's what I think is the time now. Have you noticed that the media does not know? I've been flipping through channels for the last 48 hours. They do not know how or what to call Charlie Kirk. Like you'll hear some go right-wing activists, some say MAGA. One person slipped and was like, is he a martyr? They don't have the language. And you know, when the media, they always get their marching orders. They all say the same thing, but they're stuck. It's like they're A/B testing. What do we call him? Without sending everybody.
I think they're starting. Look, they're dumb, but they're not that dumb, right? And I think they have some self-awareness that the public is turning on them. Right. I think that they can feel it in the air. They know that they're on thin ice, and now the ice is just completely broken. Because I think it was the double shot of what happened with Arena and then with Charlie, where people that was it. You know, not just with the media, with politicians, but especially with the media right now.
Here he is. This is Tyler Robinson when he got his letter again.
Congratulations. You have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
I mean, he looks like a twink, man.
Yeah, good word. Twink. I mean, they're talking about how his ACT scores. Hold on, here we go.
But again, like, to what? To humanize the guy?
I don't know if it's to humanize. I'm sure some of the media want to humanize him. They're trying to do it desperately. I think it's just filling time. You know, they're like, we need to get every fact about him. We need to get every detail. Where was his mole? Where was a pimple? What did he do every second of the day? What did he play? What did he watch? What did he read? What did he eat? That's part of the news cycle where they just have to fill it because they can't just keep repeating, hey, this is the guy who killed Charlie Kirk. This is the guy who killed Charlie Kirk. So, I mean, they're saying, this was this morning when they said alleged Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson's stellar ACT scores revealed. Posted by Proud Mother on Facebook before tragedy. And Gateway Pundit is not necessarily a liberal, it's not part of the liberal mainstream media. It's definitely not. It's a conservative outlet. So I think a lot of people are simply trying to fill the time, but let's see what else are they saying. Breaking. Okay, so we got assassin identified. We got the news conference. Spencer Cox, Utah governor, mugshot. This had just come out. That's his mugshot. See here, completely different. That you can't humanize.
Nope.
And again, we talk about it, but dialogue. That's all Charlie Kirk was doing, was having dialogue. Guy disagreed with his dialogue. They're saying that they don't know his political affiliation, that he was active in politics, but they don't know if he was left or right or Dem or MAGA, Republican or Green.
I'm going to guess he wasn't a Republican or he wasn't conservative.
What still gets me is the shot that he made. I was listening to a tactical officer the other day, and they were saying it was a 600-yard shot. I mean, of course, if I put my tinfoil hat on, I'm like, that's a difficult shot. Winds. And a lot of people were trying to go into the conspiracy theories, and I really want to stay away from those. But they're like, did he train for this? How long has he had this goal? There was a song on SoundCloud a month ago, almost to the day, that was Charlie Kirk dead at 31.
Yeah. Yes, I saw that. The thing that gets me though, man, is about the shot is I see all these keyboard soldiers on social media talking about, that wasn't that strong of a rifle, and it was anybody could have made that shot with that. Right. He's not some expert marksman. I'm like, okay, sure, you guys can say this shit, right? Mm-hmm. But we got to remember, this was a crowd full of people, right? This guy had this so-called not so great gun and was somehow able to get a shot through Charlie Kirk's neck, right. Not his chest, like a big area, right? But through his neck, across all those people, and not hit one other person. Not accidentally miss and hit another person. It's like, give me a break, guys. I'm not saying this guy is, you know, Deadpool or just, you know,
Right.
or Bullseye. You know, I'm not saying he's some expert hitman, but that shot is not an easy shot to make with that situation going on, with that many people, with that kind of crowd, with people moving around the crowd, and to still get Charlie right directly through the neck. No, that takes some level of skill.
Yeah, the reporting, just my 2 cents, has been sketchy on that. You get some which say 200, some which say 300, and I found several.
It doesn't matter. The fact that he shot through the crowd and was still able to hit him in the neck directly and not hit anybody else.
Correct. And it was one.
That's not an easy shot, man.
No, it isn't. But again, he could train for it. My point is, think about it. A man is lying on a roof, right? He has him in his scope, and he's looking at a human being there. Just because I will hammer this 24/7, just because he disagreed with what he was saying. He didn't go up to him like a man and, you know, like punch him or fight him. He sat there like a coward.
Yeah.
A coward, because that's what it is. He was a coward. He didn't go, you know what? I'm going to go debate him. I'm going to stand toe to toe with him, face to face, eyeball to eyeball. No. That's what we have to stand up to. The governor.
But George, I think we're also past the point of that. I don't think people fight like that anymore, man. Like, yeah, you know, our generation did, right?
Right. Hell yeah.
Us old schoolers, we're like, hey, you know what? At most, you might have had a guy maybe with like a chain or like a stick or something, or, you know, and maybe a knife if it's like really like, you know, crazy. But we were used to fighting with our hands. We grew up in that generation of fighting with our hands, right? Now we're not that guys. I'm not that old. Like, trust me, I lived in the Blood and Crips era, like, you know, drive-by shootings. People had guns, but people still fought with their hands too, though. You know what I mean? And it was one-on-one. It wasn't like, you know, 10 people on one person. You know, but now we live in this cowardly era where people, you know, everyone has a gun and they will just shoot rather than fight.
Well, I was saying it earlier. The governor of Utah was saying we are not today biologically wired to see someone die on TV, to see them get shot and blood spraying and dying. I was like, he's right. He's like, it's grotesque. It harms us as a society. But then I thought about it for a moment. I was like, but we started as hunter-gatherers, you know. We were knee deep in blood, whether it was hunting for food or fighting off fiends for to protect your family. I mean, in one way, we have evolved as a civilization, but at the same time, we went from hunters to house cats, declawed, distracted, and domesticated by a screen.
Oh, you mean we became pussies?
Pussies, exactly. But you know what I'm gotten sick of? That we're not standing up to the people who are causing this. Because social media, come on, the internet has existed a long time. He was saying social media is evil. That's like saying money is evil. Money's not evil. What you do with it?
You know they're going to play the crazy card with this guy.
Right, but he can't be. See, everybody that does some mass event or causes a casualty or causes mayhem, everybody wants to say they're mentally ill. Every act that takes someone's life is evil. They forgot the word evil. There is evil. People who aren't sick, just evil. And here's one of them. We have to start taking a stand against people like this. Hassan Piker.
Oh, this piece of shit.
Piece of shit with a bow on it.
I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man?
You know what? He talks all this shit, though, and he will never be the first to do it.
No, because remember, he's a millionaire's mama's boy, a champagne socialist. But he's telling them straight out, go do it, get up, get their guts in your hand, grip them, get that blood going.
He's such a cowardly bitch. It's like, yeah, he's trying to rile these people up. Dude, this guy will never be on the battlefield. Are you kidding me?
No. But it's that. And the media does the same thing. They just don't tell it directly. They'll just say fascist, bigot, racist.
Dude,
you know?
during Biden's whole administration, man, you had Democrat politicians telling people to get up in people's face, and punch them out if you don't like what they have to say, right? Maxine Waters, right? It's like harass them, do all this shit to them. They planted this seed, man, and now they're pissed off at the tree that grew from it.
Yeah, but that's why I believe that violence is not the answer. People all around me, friends and family, like, we got to take it to them. We got to take them. And I said yesterday when we were together, it's like, you cannot have two objects in the same space. It's just a law of physics.
Right. I agree, George. I agree that we
have to. Yeah, we can't, but we have to confront them. We have to shame them, guilt them, make them famous. This guy, right before you came on, I'm going to play it again because it just gets under my skin. This guy, U.S. Navy petty officer. I know, guys, I'm going to play it again. Because it's important that everybody knows. I hope his ass gets discharged. It has to, because it's conduct on becoming an officer. Here we go.
Again, bred out of Biden's administration, man.
It is, but they're not even giving the family a moment to mourn, to weep. They're coming out of the closet. The worst part for me is, let's say you're a nut job who actually has been radicalized. You're in the cult. The woke mind virus is taking your brain and turned it into mush. Okay, they're gone. They're brainwashed. I believe half of these people are doing it just for the money, for the clout and the clicks. That to me is even worse. Here he is. And he's proud of it on top of it. You can tell the way he talks. U.S. Navy Petty Officer Highland.
If you're celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, you're a bad person. You're going to hell. Fuck Charlie Kirk. The off-ramp to the high road is closed. We are not going to be made to feel bad about y'all bullshit hero that consistently spewed harmful rhetoric, that consistently put people's lives in danger with the bullshit platform that he was given by all of you racist goofies.
I never heard that term in my life. Goofy.
He's making up shit.
And he's not the only one. Of course, there's hundreds.
Yes, I just put one in the private chat. How look, man. Once you play what I showed you, then I'll come.
I was taken aback by the picture first. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Because
for Charlie.
What is it?
No, I was going to say this is crazy thinking for me. But just go ahead and play it. I'll tell you what I mean after.
Okay.
Kirk is fucking weird. There seems to be this weird emphasis on taking the moral high ground, and that you are somehow a better person if you're like, I feel bad for his family. This is the world he wanted and the world he was building. This is a white supremacist who wanted both of us dead. He was shot in the middle of saying something transphobic about trans people, and yet you want to have sympathy for him. You don't have to like violence, but I'm confused as to how you thought the revolution was going to be magically bloodless. Where is this sympathy for Palestinians, for the Sudanese people, for the Congolese, for the black people in America that are killed at the hands of police violence, for the black trans women that are being murdered for simply existing? Why does this sympathy extend to a white supremacist, but not to the communities that actually need your care? I think that people are afraid they're going to lose a part of their humanity if they don't have sympathy for somebody who is a victim of gun violence, when in reality, you're losing your humanity by allowing fascists to define your sympathy for you. While you're busy having a moral dilemma, they win. I think it's admirable to want to find the best in people and to want to continue to have sympathy for those who experience something tragic. This is the world that man wanted to live in. And while he's dead, there's a lot of folks that need that care and sympathy that are still alive.
My question is this, man. These people are talking about revolution and violence. Do they even have what it takes to get there? Like what they're doing is they're trying to stoke something that they can't finish, man. They're talking all this bullshit. You think that theory we just watched is going to be leading the charge in a fucking revolution, man? They are opening a door that they don't want to open. And you literally just said there's never room for violence, right? And I agree with you. But here's the thing. You can only poke the bear so much, man.
Right. When I mean room for violence is that's what they want. Violence to me is the last resort. But when it gets time to get bloody, you get down and you get bloody. But
right. And they're not ready for that.
That's what they want, though.
Sure.
The whole point is they want people Come on, when you have a target like this, the guy who's trying to play Dylan Mulvaney's dildo knockoff. That's what he was. He's going to be doing his fingernails when the revolution. Yeah, you saw that. It's another Dylan. He's like, hey, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
The point is when we have attacks like this, like the Catholic Church, you remember the school. It was 3 weeks before Irina Zarutska was killed.
Yeah.
3 weeks. So we had that shooting, that trans shooting. Then we had Irina Zarutska. Now we have Charlie Kirk. I feel like someone is from the outside trying to push. It's the media. They keep programming.
Oh,
They're trying to push us to a middle to tear each other apart. When I say violence is not the answer, because it means that we are out of ideas. Now, if they start coming in mass and doing this, yeah, all bets are off the table. Put our chips in the center and let's rock and roll. The point is that's what they want. And when your enemy wants you to do something, that's the last thing you do.
George, I totally agree, but here's the problem. It's almost like I don't know. Maybe I'm just black pilled. I feel like we're at a weird, like, no turning back.
Oh, we did. We crossed a line.
A line has been crossed, and look, I've publicly said this many times. I didn't agree with everything Charlie Kirk talked about. But here's the thing: I don't agree with anybody 100% of the time. You know what I mean? I just don't. So
I don't agree with my family. I didn't agree with my.
I don't agree with anybody 100% of the time. And if you do, then you're a fool, right? But no, I took Charlie Kirk with a grain of salt. But at the same time, I respected what he did, because what he did was he engaged conversation. He talked, right? He was never like, I mean, yeah, he got rude sometimes, but it was almost like very lighthearted rude. It wasn't like, just straight up, blasting people. But the man had conviction. He was a man of God who believed in the Bible, and that's where he spoke from. He spoke from a place of that, right? Now, yeah, he said things people don't want to hear, for sure. You know what I mean? Things that could be considered racist, things that could be considered homophobic, transphobic, whatever. But the point is that he was always, at the end of the day, a gentleman about it, and it was just, again, talking. It's trading ideas, right? So for that twink that we just watched to get up there and say that, that he wanted violence and he was killed because he was talking bad about trans people, right? That's basically what he said. That he was justifying him getting killed because right at the moment he was talking, against transgenderism. That tells me right there, these people are living in a fucking dream if they think that no one is going to retaliate, that they didn't put themselves in danger by doing this, that they are starting a fight they don't even know how to fight.
Right. I think the way we honor Charlie Kirk and face reality instead of running away from it is that we just basically say, okay, we crossed the Rubicon, this invisible line, it's over. People, he was answering a question on trans shootings when he got shot. That was the second. He was answering a question on that. Number one, we cannot face an enemy without first facing reality. We've gone too far. This trans shit has to end. I don't mean end the people. I mean the delusion that people have bought into, where they're going, yeah, a man can be a man can be a woman can be a man. No, we can't. You can do whatever you want in your own bedroom.
Yeah.
Go for it. That's between you and your God. But they cannot force us anymore to say, yes, you must believe. We can go into women's spaces, into women's sports, and we're going to do that. No, we have to start reinforcing what reality is. That's how we fight back. We also fight back by cutting the legs off from the fucking media, because they started this.
Someone in the chat saying that he was today's David Duke. Guys, here's the thing, man.
David Duke.
I don't know what.
Who is David Duke? Charlie Kirk?
I from what I've heard from the black people who actually know him, he's the farthest thing from it.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's black people I know that know him that had nothing bad to say about him. So these stupid comparisons, man. And by the way, let's say he was. Right. Let's say he was. The guy was never violent, and he never encouraged violence. He just spoke. So is speaking a reason to shoot somebody?
Never.
You don't like what they fucking have to say?
Never.
Remember, if you're gonna put that out there, Malcolm X said a lot of shit people didn't like. So did he deserve to fucking die?
No. But how could he be David Duke? David Duke would not talk to anyone that wasn't white. Literally, he wouldn't. How many reporters, you can go dig up old footage where you'd have black reporters would go up to him, Hispanic reporters would go up to him, they'd ask a question. He would just turn to somebody else. I mean, he was out in the open. He did not hide it. Charlie Kirk went on campus after campus after campus, and he spoke to everyone. He embraced everyone. He shook everyone's hands. He never said a racist thing in his life. Not that I ever heard of. And I would guarantee if I didn't hear it, he didn't say it unless it was in private. And I do not believe that. This guy was not David, because David Duke doesn't go out to a campus and talk to whether you're Arabic, Israeli, whether you're American or Hindu, whether you're from Papua New Guinea or New Zealand or India. They don't. David Duke types do not do that. They might scream at them, they yell at them, call them names, but no, that's the furthest thing from the truth. David Duke, who pulled that shit out of their ass? Anyway, that's the kind of stuff that's programmed from the media, because it's what the media says. Again, racist, bigot. He's the same thing as that mustachioed midget from history, Yahtzee, Hitler.
Yeah.
You say it 24 hours a day, brother. You know what that means.
But also when the media is telling you, it's okay to go out and hit people you don't agree with, right?
Yeah, you don't hit. Come on. How many times have you gotten in your life into a heated discussion with someone? Did you turn around and deck them? No.
No, it's just, you have your discussion and then you walk it off, Yeah,
I think I had one time when I was 26 where it got so heated. I got up because it was about to turn nasty, because they start pulling the mama crap. Now, when I was a kid, you said mama, I knocked your ass out. I wasn't into that shit. But you become an adult, you're like, come on, dude, that's all you got? Mama jokes?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's
no, but my man, look, it's like I told you on your show Wednesday, man. Right now, my biggest issue is with the media. I feel like the media needs to be culled. I feel like they need to be routed. I feel like, basically they need to be ran out of fucking business, man. They have proven over and over that they're not going to be biased, that they're not going to, unbiased, that they're not going to be honest. They've already proven they're not going to be honest, right? Because I guarantee you right now, what they're going to try to do is, first, they're going to try to say this guy was MAGA. Yeah. I guarantee you, they're going to say, oh, he might have been one of Charlie Kirk's, disillusioned followers. They're going to try to tie it to him being part of either MAGA or a follower of Charlie Kirk, right? Mm-hmm. And then something's going to come up where they can't prove that. So then they're going to say, oh, well, he's mentally ill, and they're going to play that card up, right? And then it's going to be about gun control again.
Thank God Trump is in office. Otherwise, this is
their playbook.
Yep. It's I'm just
to the point where they're so predictable now. Like
they are predictable, but we have to act not in a predictable manner.
What they're going to say before they even say it.
Right, but you know what? We have to change how we act, because you know what typically happens. He's going to have the funeral is going to be next week. I think it's in Arizona. Lord Thoth, if you can, or somebody else in the chat, can you look up? Is it? Because I got a message that it is in Arizona next week. If it's not in Arizona, please let me know, or somebody in the chat, let me know. So they're going to have the funeral next week. This will go on for 2 or 3 weeks, because you're having a lot of world leaders who are reaching out to the family, who are sending condolence messages. This will go on for a bit, and about 3 to 4 weeks from now, it'll be finished. What we have to make sure is that people don't forget. And I say that not to beat a dead horse, but so we can continue to act and move forward, to hold the media to account. If you are like watching cable, cut the damn cord. Don't give your money to CNN and MSNBC and ABC, and don't do that. That's the way you act. It's the first step you can take. Put your thoughts out there. When you see someone and they tell you, and they're in drag and they're sitting here telling you, yeah, I'm a woman, you can either walk away or you can say no and walk away. I'm saying if somebody confronts you, this is how we fight back. We make sure that they can no longer twist reality and have our compliance with silence. That's how we fight back, I think. What do you think?
Yeah.
We have to call them out.
And that look, this is what we have to do now, man. I think number one, just stop watching them, really.
Yeah. But you also got to stop paying them.
Yeah. They need to lose money.
Because they're not losing enough. They're not losing enough. And I think the quickest way for them to lose money is, hey, the left used to do it. Do you remember that organization out of San Francisco? I think it still exists. It was called Sleeping Giants. It was a nonprofit. Their whole job was to go to rile people up, to go after conservative companies. They'd put lists together, and then they'd go after their advertisers. It's kind of like what Robbie Starbuck does, but for DEI. You know, he goes to a corporation like Home Depot, and he's like, hey, I got an insider from there who says you have DEI policies. I'm going to make this public unless you strip them and get back to a merit-based system, and they comply. I think we have to take a first step and now start saying, okay, you have these left organizations. I do. It's time. And we have to say, they are advertising on CNN. Here are the 500 instances in just the last month where they called MAGA, Charlie Kirk, anyone related to him, or Trump, Yahtzees, Nazis, racists, bigots, threats to democracy. That has to stop because they're programming people. That's how it's in. Oh, thank you, Nick. The Greek funeral in Phoenix, Arizona. Look at this one. This is another one before we get to the news.
I saw the video of it. His last words were gun violence. I'll just say I think it's very fitting. I wish for him the same exact thing he said, oh well, about those kids being shot in schools, as long as we have the Second Amendment.
See, somehow they're comparing that. They keep trying to act like they got an own on him, like, oh, he believed in the Second Amendment. And they're saying, like, yes, you know what I mean? They're trying to use that as some type of win. You believed in the Second Amendment, look at you now.
Right.
It's not a win. Guns don't kill people. I once said that we should put up a gun in front of the camera on a stand and just leave it for 24 hours. Is it going to fire by itself? No. It's the same thing since the dawn of time. It's human beings. You got good ones, you got bad ones, and you have evil ones. That's it.
Yeah, and also we've already proven that you don't need a gun to fucking kill people like the girl on the train, right? I mean,
that was a pocket knife. What I'm a bit more disillusioned about, and I think that's the word, are the people from all spectrum of life. You have a doctor, nurse with pronouns imbibed, Henry Ford Health, in response to Charlie's assassination. Would you feel safe in entrusting him with your health care? Here's the response. Charlie Kirk died the way he lived, filling my timeline with Charlie Kirk posts. God, he got the day he deserved. Like, I remember that old rule: if you can't say something kind about something, don't say anything at all. It's like, his kids are one day going to read these posts.
no, I just want them to remember this kind of shit though. Like if something happened to like say Hassan Piker, when people are dancing on his grave,
yeah,
and, and then people say that is classless and clueless. I want them to remember today. And again, not wishing any harm on anybody.
No,
as an
karma.
Example, as an example,
karma's a bitch. Let's hear what they.
Charlie Kirk got shot.
This is at UT.
And killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view. Good that people are dying in America.
Did you see that Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today?
Yes, I did.
How do you feel about that?
I don't really have any feelings about it. Who are you?
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
yes. Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
So if you had a magical wand, a magical button that you could press and keep him from being assassinated, would you press that?
No. I think things happen for a purpose. And if that's how his life was ended, then that's how it was ended. So.
There's something to be said about keeping your kids out of major universities or just colleges, man. Today.
I miss the days when everything was, it's like you went to university, to learn, to expand your mind, to critically think and reason, to be challenged with different ideas. These are just robots.
Also, college just doesn't seem fun, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like back in the 80s, man, like we wanted to go to college because of all the college movies that were out, and
Animal House.
Animal House, you had hot chicks, washing cars and shit. And college used to seem like a fun place. It doesn't seem that fun anymore, man.
It
seems like all the hot chicks got replaced by whatever these are.
I don't know what it is. Let me take a look at a few super chats. John Maynard for $5. No, he was accepted to the Utah State University. His family said that he was recently radicalized. Yeah, because the kid in that recording looked much different than the one who ended up assassinating Charlie Kirk. Thank you for that, John.
Well, yeah, they go to these colleges and they get programmed, man. They become
goofies.
Yeah, or I mean, worse. They become these foot soldiers for the left.
Did you see Roblox already has shirts? Schlepp was sharing it. They are making shirts for avatars.
What do you mean?
Well, I'll show you in a second. Oh yeah, because in Roblox you got Robux, so the kids can buy whatever they want.
Right.
So they have ways to upgrade their avatars, and they're now selling shirts. With I'll just show you. Hold on. Angela Richter, member for 19 months, just managed to get here, upset over Kirk's murder. You and I both, Angela. That's why we're together today. And we're going to get to the latest news in a second. Angela Richter gifted one Georgia Giant Slayer membership. Thank you very much. Please, someone, whoever got that, please go thank Angela. That's a very kind gift she gave. John Maynard for $20. Governor Cox also said that violence is violence. Speech isn't violence. Well, finally, somebody said it. We're going to listen to that. Thank you. Bless you, John. Bless you. We're going to look at that now. Here it is. Here's Schlepp. He's showing that there are already t-shirt companies which are putting out shirts, right, about Charlie Kirk's death, but like praise the bullet. And there's some that I can't even repeat. I'm just going to show you. Yeah. Here it is. Here we go. I mean, they're selling these inside of a platform that's supposed to be a kid's game. Remember that. Just the tip. So they have to buy these.
Well, how is Roblox still in business?
I know.
That's
They
crazy,
shouldn't.
man.
That they should, and that's kids. So they're not only programming children early to become consumers for life, but they're now indoctrinating them completely. Besides being a digital playground for every trench coat guy who's, passing out creepy candy. Hello, Nicoletta. Thank you for the hug.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting, man.
100% fuck the Democrats. I've never said that before, but enough is enough. We got to start fighting back. And we fight back by carrying on Charlie's mission. The same way he went out to universities, you go out and talk. Family, friends, wherever you are. Stand up. When someone wants you silent, speak out. I think that's the thing we should do. I think we need to start going and talking to universities. I don't care if it's a school. Small, if it's got 5 people, 500 people. That's how you carry on his memory. That's how you fight back. Because you have to force their hand to keep showing everybody who they are. I think that's what happened here, Verbal. The line that was crossed, it wasn't only Charlie Kirk's death, but it has woken people up.
Oh, absolutely. I think I guarantee you there were people who were kind of dancing around the middle who are now going to be shoved further right. And again, these people don't understand the repercussions of what they've done, man.
No.
Because by all these acts, and not just Charlie Kirk, man. Them trying to justify what happened to the girl on the train. Them trying to make the guy, the killer, the victim.
Yeah.
Right? Trying to make him the victim. Oh, that poor guy. He must have been suffering so bad mentally. I'm like, this chick was bleeding out on the ground, on the floor of the fucking train.
I know, watching that video.
And they don't give a shit about her. They care about him.
Tiggy, what the Democrats did is that they have funded a media operation that has continued to call everybody who disagrees with their opinion everything from deplorable, again, to fascists, bigots, misogynists, dividers of the country, threat to democracy. You name it. You can't continue to tell. It's different than saying we're Democrats, we're Republicans. We Democrats would go, we believe in X, Y, and Z. Here's our platform. Republicans go, here's our platform. What they're doing is that you never, when I was growing up, heard the media say, well, guess what? George Bush over here, he's an animal. He's like Hitler incarnated. That all started to happen with his son, George W. Bush, who, by the way, I can't stand and still feel guilty for voting for. I say that every time I mention his name. But that's what has changed. The media came out and took an open side. They're calling people who disagree with them. It's not calling names. They're labeling them. And that label becomes a target. It's like putting a bounty on someone's head. Think about it, Dante. You're 18 years old, right? Lost, maybe a loser, someone who doesn't feel special. Maybe you're doing great. Maybe this, just like this kid, he was great, going to college. But you start hearing from your professors, and then it's reinforced from the media, that there's a monster out there, you know? They say Charlie Kirk, he's a divider. He's evil. He's Hitler reincarnated. What do you think they're telling you? They're saying you got to do something, because isn't that your moral duty?
Well, yeah, and you kind of hit the nail on the head, man. Here's my theory. Here's my philosophy in life.
Okay.
A guy who's getting laid on a regular basis doesn't do shit like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A guy who is getting laid on a regular basis doesn't do shit like this. So yeah, this was probably some fucking lonely incel who got tired of, masturbating to whatever anime he's fucking watching, and, decided to do something, important in his life, right? Which was this. Because
he probably wanted to feel like a hero.
Going on.
Yeah. Again, you hit the nail on the head this time. He wanted to feel heroic.
Yeah. He wanted to feel like he accomplished something. Again,
you're Matthew Dowd, right? 1 hour after, it was 35 minutes after Charlie Kirk was shot. Matthew Dowd is like, I've always said that hate begets hate, and there are consequences. Now he's fired from his job because his first answer was, well, maybe he was shot by somebody who fired off a gun in celebration. Really? Really? When they do that 24/7, they are programming people. Come on, if somebody told you there was a shark in the water, right, what are you going to do? And your kids are there. You're not going to let them in the water. But if they told you every time you go to the beach, there's a shark in the water, everybody's going to get together and they're going to kill the shark.
Right.
Somebody's going to step up. Well, they're saying there's a shark in a human meat suit, and he's living in this country trying to eat it alive. And they do that night and day and night and day and night and day. And someone goes, hey, you know what? They start fantasizing. I can save my country. I can be a hero. I'll be remembered. I'll go down and, they spin out. So, yeah, I think that's one of the biggest
Well,
things.
what's crazy is this guy was ratted out by his own father.
Which tells you how honorable his father is. Think about how difficult that is.
Yeah, I'm sure the mom wasn't happy about that.
No. And when I said Dems, I'm talking about the Democratic Party. Half my friends and family are Democrats. I'm not talking about individuals. Just like when I say I can't stand China, I'm not talking about the Chinese people. I'm talking about the government.
The government, yes.
It's always the government. It's the party. I can't stand Republicans. I don't like the Republican Party. Right. I don't, because I think they're sellouts. I like MAGA.
I think that's where people get confused, man. It's like they don't understand when you say something like that. You're not talking about the people. You're talking about the organization. Like when I say I hate Black Lives Matter, am I saying that I hate, the idea of Black Lives mattering or matter? No, but I hate the organization, right? If you're an individual who just has that, on your T-shirt or something, or your bio, I don't care, right? But it's the organization I have an issue with.
Yep, absolutely. Blitzen gifted 5 Georgia Giant Slayer memberships. Bless you, Blitzen. You got a beautiful soul. Please, everybody who just got a free membership for a month, go thank Blitzen. That was a wonderful thing he did. Appreciate that, brother. I want to read through the latest news. Utah Governor Spencer revealed Friday the bullet casings in the rifle allegedly used by Tyler Robinson to assassinate Charlie Kirk were etched with a variety of messages, including one that read, "Hey, fascist, catch."
They're not helping themselves, man. I'm telling you, like, I don't think. Again, we're not advocating anything, but you know, there could be a backlash, and it probably won't be a good thing, right? And I don't think they're ready for that kind of backlash. I mean, I've been hearing rumblings of people, telling the transgender community to like protect themselves because they're coming after them, but it's fear mongering basically.
Right. How many have you seen anybody go after trans people? Is there some mass shooting on record where somebody went into a
No.
Of course not. But
I have not seen one situation. Like, I mean, there was that one gay club in Florida a while back.
But wasn't that a Muslim radical?
Yeah, some Muslim radical did that, right? Again, the media dropped it real quick when they found out he was Muslim.
Right.
They quit talking about it. You know what I mean?
Enchanted Butterfly, I feel you. I grew up in a family that was half Democrat, half Republican. My granddad was a Democrat, which I didn't find out till after he passed away. I thought he was a Republican his whole life. He turned with Reagan and he became a Republican. Then he was a Republican afterwards. And then I voted for Bush. I thought I was being patriotic. I listened, I evaluated, and then everything went to hell, and I regretted it ever since. And I feel guilty. But what I noticed was when President Obama got into office, I realized that Bush and Obama have the same damn policies. They were just named different things, the majority of them. And that's why I'm like, this is just control opposition. There's no difference between Republicans and Democrats. They're just the same club serving the same corporate masters. And that's one of the things that I liked about MAGA. I'm like, finally, we have a real second party. So, yeah. Robinson, 22, was arrested Thursday evening, apparently after his father turned him in. Cox said that Robinson family and friends had cooperated with investigators in corroborating clues linking him to the assassination. I'm glad that they're calling it an assassination, but I don't like the fact that CNN and ABC refuse to call it an assassination. They'll say the killing, he was shot. Their language is very carefully crafted. They won't say execution or murder. They'll say death. Cox reiterated that the bolt-action rifle that had allegedly been used in the assassination had been recovered, wrapped in a dark towel in a wooded area behind the Utah Valley University campus where Kirk was shot. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casing. Think about that. This guy thought he was the Punisher. Remember how the Punisher would engrave some of his book? He thinks that. Come on, for you to sit there and engrave it, put yourself in his mind. I don't want to, but put yourself in his mindset. That's someone who's fantasizing. Wow, I'm sure he had like a couple of televisions going, streaming. I'm going to save the country. I'm going to be heroic. They're going to love me. Doesn't matter what happens. Wow. This is what he wrote. Notice bulges. Oh, whoa. What the hell is that? Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. What is that word?
I can't even make
Oh,
that
whoa.
out.
Does anybody know what the hell that means? Notice bulges. Oh, whoa. Or is that supposed to be something else? Shit.
It might be something else.
What's this? Inscriptions on 3 unfired casings read, "Hey, fascist, catch." And then up arrow symbol, right arrow symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh, bello ciao, bello ciao, bello ciao, ciao, ciao." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you're gay." LMA, laugh my ass off. Yeah, I thought it was oh wow, but it's oh wow, oh. Oh, I guess oh wow. Okay. Hold on, Mexican Ironman just sent me something. Let me see if this is what the hell. Can you look this up real quick, Dante? While I'm it's shots fired, investigation underway on Hilton Head Island.
Shots fired?
Yeah, it says shots fired, investigation underway on Hilton Head Island. See, what I'm worried about is that what Robinson did is also going to be a trigger for other lefties. Hi, Tiffany. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, George. Glad I caught you live. I'm happy they caught the monster. I hope he gets the harshest punishment. He took a young man from his wife. Think about it. You know, in Greece, they say that if you lose your father, wait a minute. If you lose your mother, just thinking about Charlie, it's got my head spinning. It was when you lose your mother, you're bathed in tears. When you lose your father, you're an orphan. There's a saying like that. I'm going to think of the right words in a second. Yeah, when you lose your mother, you're bathed in tears. When you lose your father, you're an orphan. 2 children lost their dad. A wife lost her husband. I mean, these are real life. This isn't a Roblox game. This isn't Fortnite. It's reality. And some guy was sitting there spending probably the last couple of months etching his bullets, jerking off, pardon my language, thinking that, oh, man, I'm going to be remembered forever. I hope he gets put away in a box and then publicly executed. I mean, talking Roman days. I want an arena and lions. That's what I'd like to see. The notices Bulge's message, according to You Know Your Meme, is a reference to gay sexuality associated with the furry phenomenon. Of course. I said it at the beginning. I'm like, they're revving up the furries into a fury. I didn't realize that. Which refers to attraction to cartoon animals. The arrow symbols may have been a video game reference.
Inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices Bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?" Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to inscriptions.
It's from the video. What? Up, right, down, down is the code for the Eagle 500 kg bomb airstrike, one of the most widely used stratagems for its devastating effect on most enemies from the video game Helldivers 2. Well, there goes that game. You know what also worries me is the reaction going to be from the censors. You know, Visa, MasterCard. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Because Visa and MasterCard, for everybody who didn't know, over the summer, they forced the video game platform Steam to remove a lot of their adult video games. I haven't played video games in years. It's just not my thing anymore. And but they removed them. We're talking about adult games. They said, if you don't remove them, Steam, we're not going to process any of your payments. So Steam removed them. But when it comes to Roblox, which calls itself the online Disneyland, a literal digital playground with no guards, no guardrails, but real ghouls that go after children, that has a monetary system in it, virtual currency of Robux. Did Visa and MasterCard say a word?
Nope.
Because they process billions in payments a year. But now that it's been linked to Helldivers, this shooting, you know, if it hasn't already out, that they're going to start saying, see, video games lead to violence. You're going to be
yeah, but you know what? I mean, George, honestly, they've been trying to say that since like the 80s. You know what I mean?
know, but yeah, look how hard they're going after it, though, lately. Why would Visa want to play morality police for video games? Unless they want, again, censorship. You always got to look at the motivations of people's actions.
Oh, yeah.
They want to censor you. They're saying, we censor you, that means you can be safe. And you never trade, freedom for security, ever. The phrase Bella Ciao is reportedly associated with left-wing songs loosely linked to the 20th century Italian opponents of fascism. Early reports have suggested that the casings had anti-fascist and transgender messages. Cox said that the family members had shared images and messages with Robinson confirming that he had made engravings in the bullet casings. Let's see if there's anything new. Kash Patel gave a tribute.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In which message turn the microphone over to the director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation.
You know what? Someone posted a couple of times, and he's absolutely right. Justin Kessner. I grew up in a time, I think we reached the peak equilibrium in our society in the late 90s. I was raised live and let live, to each their own. Dante's the same way. You know, doesn't matter your color, doesn't matter your sex. You do you, I do me. Good luck, God bless. But this has all changed lately, and I think it's done more. I think the trans movement has done more damage to the gay movement than anything else in society.
Oh, dude, it set them back so much, man. I mean, it's that again. We reached this point of, let's just say, unison as far as we didn't care what each other did, right? And the pinnacle of that was when Obama legalized gay marriage. It's like, okay,
we did it.
You gays can marry now. You know, we are all on equal footing. You know, let's just live and let live, right? And I think we kind of reached that plateau. And then, though, all of a sudden it became all about the transgenders, right? And I think this happened around 2014-ish, 2015, 14, around that time. When all of a sudden we had to change everything we knew, right? So she no longer meant female, he no longer meant male, right? Like we had to change all this shit to accommodate this small group of people. And because of that, it has fucked up relations between the LGBTQ and everybody else. Well, once again, right? Because we had reached a consensus. We reached an agreement at some point.
Yeah, an equilibrium. Come on, 1998. I think everybody got along. I think things started to change. What was that guy's name that Obama came out and said that could have been my son? That was, to me, the turning point.
Oh, yeah, that was the...
you know what I'm talking about?
Trayvon Martin?
Right, was it? Where he's like, he could have been my son. And everybody's like, why do you say that? Because it's like a month before there had been a shooting of a 16-year-old white kid. And they're like, but you didn't say it about him. And there was a Mexican kid who was shot like 2 months before.
Right.
He's like, why are you trying to stoke this? And remember the whole hands up, don't shoot?
Oh, yeah.
That was the first turning point. And then we hit about, you say 2014. I think it was about started like 2010, 2014, right about there.
I know it was around the time. It was right around the time when Bruce Jenner, you know, did that cover for Vanity Fair, and all of a sudden everybody wanted to be fucking trans.
I know it came out of nowhere, but I remember Obama gave an interview. I don't know if it was to Barbara Walters or Whoopi Goldberg, where he actually admitted, after he had lost to Trump, that he goes, we might have pushed the trans thing a little bit too far. That he said transgender, and he went through this whole thing, I'm paraphrasing. But
well, Well, yeah, they did, and now this is where we're at. So,
but it's been militarized. This is something that everyday folks don't realize. Antifa. You got Antifa. Well, you also have Trantifa. They go out and beat people.
Yeah,
beat people up. Oh, you've seen it? Andy knows coverage.
I mean, I'm not I'm a pretty peaceful Zen kind of guy, but there's times where I just wish they would come up in my face. It's like, dude,
I know you're
gonna have the worst day of your life, and you don't even know it.
I agree, brother. I agree. In Greece, we say pan metronarison. It's the golden mean, ancient Greek. It's like balance in all things. Yeah.
A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilize these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of
Hold on. There's news from Trump. Someone just sent me. 1 second. We'll get right back to that. Hello. What the hell? Give me a second. It's not playing. No, I don't want to leave site. Yeah, the Trantifa, they've gone wild. They have been coming out en masse and attacking people. There was a prayer service that was put together 3 weeks ago. And they went to stop it. Oh, here we go. This is from Halloween. Well, I'm looking for that. This is from Halloween 2017 of Tyler Robinson, who's now in custody after assassinating Charlie Kirk. See, it's like this photo of Tyler Robinson was posted on his mother's Facebook from 2017. The hate that festered against conservatives, man, President Trump has been festering for at least 8 years. And so who knew and did nothing? So look at it. So he wasn't recently radicalized. There it is, in color. And you know who started that? You remember that comedian, the redhead, holding up the
Kathy Griffin? Yeah.
See, when you have celebrities and the media who are acting as role models, even though they shouldn't be, people take notice. Losers, loons, lefties, nutcases, and they follow suit. He thinks this is funny. Hey, I'm gonna have a President Trump corpse. This
is what happens now when you send your kids to these schools. Now,
yeah, but this is in 2017, so he wasn't radicalized now. What do you bet it was from the mom? Because we have found so many Karens lately instead of the father. Because you said that the father turned him in, right?
Father turned him in,
right? Yeah. So then it has to be from. I would just bet it's from the mother. I don't know why, but lately we've just had nothing but Karens. Oh, and here we go again. This is Tim Waltz.
Is Utah a blue state?
Utah is a mixed bag.
Yeah, I'm like, because that's like the home of the Mormons, right?
Yeah, but it votes predominantly Republican, but there are pockets where there's a lot of leftist loons. And I mean a lot. This is Tim Waltz from Labor Day.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know. There will be news. You get up.
They all keep dreaming about Trump's death, yet they say that Trump's has radicalized everyone with his rhetoric. I'm looking for, here it is. This it? Yeah, here we go.
Before we begin, let me express the horror and grief so many Americans at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk have felt. Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people. Our prayers are with his wonderful wife, Eric, and his beautiful children. Fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big.
That's good, but how are we going to fix the problem? I'm glad he's getting the medal, but how are we going to fix the problem?
Well, first we have to dismantle the fucking media, man, the mainstream media. I like that is once that goes, everything falls for them. Because they still have their fucking idiots that they put up there, and believe it or not, some people still listen to these idiots. So,
but we also have to go after the schools who keep radicalizing these children. Remember?
oh yeah, all those professors have to fucking go.
But see, he was doing that, and he getting one judge after the other. Like when he cut off the money from Harvard, and he was starting to pull a lot of their funds. Obviously, they sued. Now you had a judge which saying you can't do that. You're violating the First Amendment, Fifth Amendment. They went on. And I'm like, wait. When you have an entire institution which is following DEI and indoctrinating instead of educating, that's no longer an academy or an institution of learning. That is literally a boot camp for brainwashing and trying to get a future generation of foot soldiers. I mean, in Cambodia, Pol Pot had children turn their parents in who didn't like him, who didn't like the Khmer Rouge. They would have them kill them, and they didn't have a problem with it. That's how far gone they were. I have a Cambodian who used to work. Cambodian, that sounds weird. I have a lady who is a rehab. It's like, yeah, I got a little Cambodian running around. No, I have this beautiful woman, and she is a rehab.
I wish I had a Cambodian.
I know it sounds like I got a little Cambodian. It's like I got this image anyway. And she's a rehab nurse because my knee has been screwed ever since I played rugby younger. And so a friend of my sisters, and she'd be working on my knee, and she would start telling me about the stories how her family left. I mean, again, the Khmer Rouge, how they turn children. That's why when you have the left in the media, they target children. It's the same way Roblox does.
Yeah,
get them in there, let them play, let them code, let them chat, fuck them up in the heads, and then pump the message.
Yeah, no, that you recruit the young because they're impressionable and they're easy to manipulate. So again, this is old hat, man. This is like an old playbook. This isn't like anything new or groundbreaking. It's always you go after the young, and especially for like these, people in the gay community or transgender community, I should say, not gay, but transgender is they go after the young because they can't procreate. So they want to abduct yours.
Steve Z for $5. One video shows him take off immediately after the shot, but not carrying the rifle coming down from the roof. Yet they found it in the woods. Yeah, I also saw a video where he was limping. It was like a ring cam from a house and a security cam where it showed him limping, walking through a neighborhood. Thank you for that, Steve Z. Mikey likes it. Remember, for 6 months, R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace, Charlie. And God bless Slayer Nation. God bless you. God bless you. I feel the most, again, Charlie's gone. He's with God. He's in heaven. I feel for his family and his kids. Yeah, when is... You know, a long time ago, I was working on my first novel, and obviously fiction. And it was about 125 people in the United States, in the world, that if you took out 125 people, how things would change overnight. People like Soros, Gates, Lin-Bao Jobs. I'm still writing that novel, almost finished, because it's just interesting, kind of like a Tom Clancy thing. But what happens if people got together and they said, who is actually pulling the strings?
Well, we know some of the people that are, you know, I mean, the whole, like, you know, BlackRock, Vanguard, all those corporations.
The same one. BlackRock has a huge stake in Roblox.
Yeah. State Street, I think, is another one.
It is. And how much do they own in the media? That's the other thing.
Oh, I'm sure they completely own CNN outright.
Oh, but CNN, you know what's funny? It's not funny. It's strange at the same time, is that CNN has almost no ratings. No. Yet it's still programming people, still has the ability to reach out.
What do you explain to Barron? Kai, he's almost peers. He's one of those young people that Charlie Kirk was so impressed with.
He was a tremendous fan.
What do you as a dad, and a lot of dads and moms are wondering what to say. What do you say to them?
So Barron's a very good student. And Barron came to me and he said, Dad, I'd like to meet somebody that you know. Who? Charlie Kirk. I said, what? You know, I thought he was going to say, I want to meet like King Charles or something, like we're going to meet soon, right? But he said, really, you want? And I set up a lunch with him, and he came back. He said, that guy's great, Dad. That guy's great. You know, it's cute. He's unbelievable. I don't know what it was. Charlie had a magic over the kids, and large numbers of them, and very diverse. Black, white. Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody, the young women and boys, and I've never seen anything like it. And it was all good. I mean, it was good stuff. It wasn't some of the stuff you read about where they're in favor of all these horrible things. It was really good stuff. And we lost an unbelievable warrior. And I think I have a feeling that Erica, you know, I spoke to her long yesterday. She's devastated. And I said, in between the devastation, she made statements. I said, you should try and do that, because Turning Point is a real power. And I think she may, and, you know, her group, I think they're going to
rally around her
together. And you know, things like that have happened before. You make it bigger, better, stronger. I said, only do it if you're going to make it bigger and better. Can you do it? But I didn't want to talk about that too much, because she can't, you know, it's going to take her a while to get better from this. It's a tough.
2 little ones.
Yeah, and beautiful, beautiful kids. But I'll never forget Barron coming back saying, Dad, that guy's great. You know, normally he's not full of praise.
What do you tell him now?
He was very hurt when he saw this. But I mean, everybody was. Oh, when I heard it, I was in the midst of, you know, building for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom.
Okay, the ballroom. Yeah, Trump is going to be paying for a ballroom, if you didn't hear that, at the White House. It's like a $200 million ballroom. He's going to pay for it out of his pocket, and or cover what else, or get together a conglomerate to be able to pay for it. Piers Morgan wrote this. I haven't agreed with Piers Morgan a lot lately, since he refuses to talk about the grape gangs in the UK, but is hyper-focused on Israel 24/7, bringing Dave Smith and...
Yeah, I take Piers with a grain of salt, man.
Piers is...
I think I take everybody with a grain of salt, basically, at this time, so...
There goes Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, 22, killed him because he hated his opinions and thought he was a fascist. Yet, ironically, he was the fascist, killing someone to silence their opposing views. The woke left love to say speech is violence. It's not. Violence is. But it's the same way we had, what did they call it? 2020, the summer of love. It's like they were burning down cities, and you got the reporters on there. MAGA is making this out to be like some civil war violence, like people are dying. Fire, you remember that? Fire is all around.
So they're so full of shit, man. And I love how they tried to call it peaceful, right? Peaceful protest.
I know, but everything was burning behind him. You're like, dude, we can see the fire. We're not blind.
I saw one where a reporter was talking about how peaceful it was, and right behind her was a crate of bricks. A crate of bricks that was right behind her. I'm like, dude, this is asinine.
It's always with the bricks. They always just magically show up. The same thing happened I saw in downtown LA when you had the National Guard there with ICE.
Yeah.
Oh, Culture Casino just sent me this. Oh my, I haven't checked it out. He said we have to watch this. Love Culture. If you haven't checked out Culture Casino, please go to his channel and subscribe. Brilliant mind, great gentleman, wonderful human being. I keep asking him to come on the show, especially on Sundays. We got to get him one day. Here you go.
Fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my fucking job! Now I have nothing but this! I have nothing but this website! I have nothing anymore! I have nothing! I have nothing anymore! I have nothing anymore! I have nothing anymore! I have nothing anymore! Ah! 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 Ah!
What the hell?
Oh, this is a woman, George. Can't you tell? This is how women act.
Does she identify as Cambodian?
I mean,
what the hell is
funny.
this about?
They get so offended when we say like they have a mental illness, but yet here we are.
But what was that?
It looked like a guy who thinks is a woman who, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. It could be performance art. I was looking at one of the chats. It could be staged. People do shit for likes and whatever, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. It could be staged, or they're just crazy, or both. I mean, shit.
You know, I know mental health is one of the biggest issues we have actually in the country that a lot of people don't talk about. The left tries to use it and weaponize it. But I do think just evil exists. You know, you're good, evil. Not everybody is a nutcase.
Well, here's the thing. I agree with that, but also we don't realize it, man. We've had a whole generation or two that have been raised on pharmaceutical drugs, man. Like given to them as given to them as kids. You know what I mean? You get Ritalin and shit like that for ADHD, and you have a lot of kids who are raised on drugs, and I don't know, like there might be something to this. Because I was thinking that myself. I'm like, why does it seem like these younger people seem crazier than previous generations, right?
Well, they've been wired, like you just said. They've been wired. Their brain's been rewired.
Yeah, like it seems like, because I look at some of these videos where like, you see like these young black kids who are like, doing these stupid flash mob things and, and I'm like, and they all have the same weird look and they all have like this deadness in their eyes. I feel like there's something in the water. There's something that I can't put my finger on that's kind of fucked up the past couple of generations, man.
It has to be. It has to be. That's why they hate RFK Jr. Because he's trying to clean out all. Look at how they treated him last week. They were like, "You don't have the data on COVID. You don't have." He's like, "The data. It's data chaos." He called it. Half the numbers are missing.
Meanwhile, they'll criticize RFK for some shit like this, but they're not questioning that in Charlotte, that this judge that let that animal out 14 times doesn't even have a fucking law degree.
I know, no degree. It's an appointed magistrate. She's supposed to handle like late night traffic tickets, DUI, bail.
No law
hearings.
degree, no, didn't pass the bar, and you're a judge.
But let me tell you something. Do you know how many of those are out there? I checked. They're all over the country. They're friends
that's
who get
scary,
appointed.
man.
No, they're all over. They're appointed. They're just some who are justice of the peace, they call them. No law degree, no background as police officers, law enforcement, criminal education, nothing. It's like somebody who can donate big to a candidate in their area or to a party. They're
Dude,
like,
that is
hey,
fucked up.
it is. It is. Brother, it is. It is. There's so much that we have to unpack in this life in order to clean everything up. And I think one of the ways to do that, though, is we have to get back to teaching people how to critically think. And to do that, they got to get a real education. Look at the money we spend in education on public schools. Yet numbers came out the other day. We fell even further in math and English and reading. Here we go. Charlie. This is the guy. Who did you say somebody earlier said that he was David Duke? You said somebody said that?
Yeah, somebody in the chat.
Okay. David Duke did not do this. David Duke did not engage with people and talk. He engaged with his own creatures.
What would you have
Did
to
you
say?
even graduate college? You know,
No.
this
fact,
guy didn't graduate
I didn't go to college. I've been able to be pretty successful without a 4-year degree.
College.
Yeah, I did not go to
Yeah, you're
college.
gonna come to a college and act like you know.
So are we gonna debate resumes or ideas?
Ideas?
Because
Do you
if we
think
want,
it's a good
hold on.
idea to just
Let's
defund every major.
Do you want to
program?
debate resumes or ideas? Because if you want to argue from authority as if you're somehow smarter than I am because
I'm
you
not
have a
claiming that.
meaningless 4-year college degree, or do we got to say who's actually right or wrong? You're engaging in a
So you
logical
think it's
fallacy when you do
Do
that.
you think it's meaningless to have a degree in construction engineering?
Honestly,
and be a
most
person who
college
wants to
degrees
build
are
this
largely
country?
meaningless. Yes, most college degrees are meaningless, and most of you guys are being totally scammed by being here.
No.
Now, let me further complete the point.
So getting
let
educated
me-
is a scam.
Most times, first of all, it's not always an education, and you are perfect evidence that you haven't really been educated. You are. What would you have to?
Oh, that's not the full clip. The guy starts at one point. He starts pulling out the bull. Oh my! I'm sorry about that. My God. Okay, let me. When I'm looking for these videos, I'm gonna close the. You didn't see that, did you?
See what?
Oh, good. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No, I didn't see or hear anything.
Thank God. So I was looking up for the video that I wanted to share, and somebody flashed the video of Kirk, and I was like, I gotta shut it down. So this is the British media outlet. Share screen.
Yeah. I'll say, can I just say something? I don't agree he was a Cicero for the TikTok age. I believe he was a David Duke for the TikTok age. And I have some degree.
Can you just remind us who
David Duke was
is?
the former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. This
Oh,
was a very
right.
seriously deep. Now, this is by no means trying to justify his murder. Political violence is wrong at home. It is wrong abroad. It is wrong, and it's also wrong. Political violence must be condemned, as must be the propagandizing for political violence and the dehumanization of people. Charlie Kirk was somebody who was, I shiver, particularly for conservatives, when he's described as conservative, because he wasn't a conservative by any means whatsoever. He was quite clearly a comfortably a supremacist. That if I was somebody who was going on television, I'm sure you would have described somebody who goes on TV and blames Jewish people for what he describes as the coarsening of Western culture, says things like the Equality Act or the Civil Rights Act or so was a mistake, says things like women shouldn't be entitled to abortions, etc., so on and so forth.
Very extreme things. I'm just going to.
He's never said any of those things. The only thing he ever said is abortion leads to the destruction of a society. In his way. Did you hear that guy?
Yeah.
He literally said he's David Duke, a white supremacist. I don't know what he's watching. I don't know what the hell he's watching, dude.
But again, this is how these people think, man.
Yes, but people are listening to them.
Yeah, like I said, there's people who listen to CNN.
Right, but they're taking that man's word as gospel. They're not questioning it. So then somebody else is going to go, I want to be a Tyler. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's dangerous, because what he's doing there is he is expressing opinion as fact. There should be a big old banner above his head. This is this fool's opinion. He probably has a Cambodian.
Probably.
There's just, I'm going to bookmark that because that has to be seen much more than it is. I mean, again, I agreed with Charlie Kirk on 50% of what he said, 50%. The rest I didn't, but I respected and admired the man. But I wouldn't listen to a guy who was David Duke. I don't think you would listen to a guy who was David Duke.
Not at all, man. And again, this is like, it's bullshit hyperbole, dude. It's not.
But I wonder if they believe it or they're doing it just for outrage.
And again, I don't know where, again, I just know the black folks that I know that knew him and even worked for him said he was a great guy. So, maybe they, he said some things that black folks didn't want to hear. I know he was known for like posting crime stats and things like that. And, so maybe that's why they're calling him a racist or calling him this and that. But like I said, the black folks I know that knew him he said he was a really good guy.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be saying that for a David Duke again.
No, at all. They wouldn't work for David Duke.
Yeah, of course.
Charlie Kirk had black people who worked for him, who were like close to him. Like, so no, David Duke would never do that.
No. David Duke was a bona fide white supremacist.
Yeah, he was like old school, legit,
Klan.
burning crosses kind of,
yeah,
white supremacist.
It was Klan. He's like, if you're not white, like through and through, inside and out, like 5 generations back, you don't qualify to be around him. He was.
David Duke wore the hood. You know what I mean?
He didn't hide it.
He wore the hood. So
here, I found this. This is the first time Charlie Kirk was ever on television. I think it's appropriate.
This is the first time he was ever on TV, and it was right here on Fox and Friends, May 21st, 2012.
When we graduate from high school this coming June, we're handed a diploma. That's also an invoice for hundreds of thousands of dollars that my generation is going to have to pay off through interest, high taxes, and a stagnant economy. We here at SOS Liberty believe that if we do not change the conversation back to us, the kids that are going to have to inherit this debt, that our economy will be stagnant for years to come. And our website, we have really interesting things. We have videos, pictures trying to inspire the youth, sosliberty.com, that has a wide variety of youth from all across the country jumping onto our cause. Well, I'm having trouble finding a summer job, as is Mike, in a lot of different regards. A lot of kids are feeling the effects of what we like to call, with the Washington economy, with a lot of debt, plummeting small business, with higher regulation and high taxes. We're just trying to reinstitute the founding principles, free market, fiscal responsibility. SOS Liberty is a nonpartisan. We don't consider this a Republican versus Democrat issue, but rather a generational one.
Very nice. Very nice. Straightforward. You have anything that you think we haven't talked about? Something that we've missed?
No, man. I'm just curious now, where this all goes.
I want to see if
now that they got the guy, what happens next?
Let's see if there's any more news on him.
Are they going to stick him in Gen Pop, or are they going to try to
if he goes to Gen Pop?
That's what I'm saying. Are they going to try to protect him, or are they going to try to I don't know, man. I feel like there's still a lot of fuckery that could be done here.
I'm glad the fact that he is alive. You remember the assassin who took a shot at President Trump at Butler, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
And they killed him. It's like, I wanted him alive. I wanted him to be able to face.
No, but they're programmed to kill themselves after. That's the programming.
Let me look at this.
Because if you think about it, most shootings always end with the shooter doing themselves in,
They do, but this guy, I mean, do you want to see a trial?
I mean, yeah, honestly. I just hope they don't let him off for some, bullshit reasons.
How could they let him off? That would be a slap in the face to the family and to the entire nation.
Yeah, but it's not like they're above doing shit like that. You know what I mean?
This is a good point right here. I'm going to look for his text that he was chatting with someone, Tyler Robinson. But this right here, again, it underlines the point about how the media continues to program people. This was during the debates.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, you had the Vice President of the United States of America saying he's a fascist, right? And then you have CNN repeating it over and over and over. Now throw Charlie Kirk into that. That's not a label. That's a target they put on his back, a bounty. And they were just waiting for someone to load the round and pull the trigger. Well, I want to find the guy, Cynic is saying the guy that he was texting, Tyler Robinson. Oh, this keyboard is so damn loud. In the comments of social media. Two hours ago. Live chat. Well, it could be any Tyler Robinson. I don't know. In June, I interviewed tech expert Paul San Francisco on Relevant Radio about how social media is reshaping our kids' psychology and morally. Listen to what he said about Discord. Okay. Let's listen to this.
Discord is one of the worst ones out there, in my opinion. And Discord is a bulletin board chat room of our times, but just 100 times worse. And it's for gaming, but it's spread really a lot. And you're going to see pornography. You're going to see it's just open to the world. And they fought doing some parental controls. And then the last year, the government finally made them do some parental controls on it. Discord is probably one of the worst ones I've seen out there. Discord is one of the worst ones out there, in my opinion. And Discord is a bulletin board chat room of our times, but just 100 times worse. And it's for gaming.
Messages affiliated with the content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits.
All right. Syndic just sent me this article. We can go through it. It's pretty much saying what the governor said and more. Hold on. So I want to know where the suspect, who is the person that he was messaging? Where is that guy? Charlie Kirk, shooter suspect. Well, I guess it's not a suspect anymore. Tyler Robinson's roommate showed investigators Discord messages that discussed hiding a rifle and engraving bullets. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said at a press conference on Friday. Why it matters. The arrest of Robinson concludes a nationwide manhunt following Wednesday's assassination of conservative activist and Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk at 31. As part of Turning Point, which has more than 850 campus chapters. Think about it, a guy who didn't graduate college. See, he's in that other way. Charlie Kirk is an example that you can succeed without the college degree and the mountain of debt that's going to bear you for the rest of your life.
Right.
Think about what kind of enemy he was to so many people for so many levels, Dante. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
They're talking about someone who said we all have the right to speak freely. We all have the right to have dialogue. We all have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And he was doing it while talking to people, changing minds, trying to make the world a better place. And he did it without a degree. I mean, he literally was going against, the rules, the doctrine that's been laid down from on high. Anyway, Kirk was a close ally and supporter of President Donald Trump, who said on Friday on Fox and Friends that the suspect was turned in by his father and that law enforcement officials would confirm the arrest later in the day. What to know? Authorities interviewed Robinson's roommate, who has not been identified following the fatal shooting of Kirk on Wednesday. He showed them messages from an account named Tyler that the roommate identified as being from Robinson, and which stated the need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush. They also mentioned wrapping the weapon up in a towel. Tyler also discussed having to change outfits and engraving bullets, as well as a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique messages. Cox said that the roommate they must have used like ChatGPT to write this or something. Cox said that the roommate made mention of a joke Robinson allegedly made on Discord, a social media platform often used for communication. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. Cox said at the presser, he opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen. These photos consisted of various messages, including content between the phone contact name. Okay. Where are the messages?
Well, I think there's a lot of things we're probably not going to get right away.
Yeah, I want to know where the messages are. I'm going to go back to the conference real quick. Where did you go? Here it is.
Yeah, there's some things they're probably going to keep on the DL for a little bit.
I just want to start this. It's like 10 minutes we'll watch. I want to see if we missed something.
Had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact name Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night.
This is, I got to share this. There are pictures and a video of Charlie Kirk's widow being escorted by Vice President Vance and his wife, Usha Vance. This is, I don't remember feeling this way when President Trump was shot. I was angry, but he survived. You know, when he stood back up and he threw his fist in the air, You felt like, yes, he's indomitable. Catch the guy who did it, but he was there. You know, he's not going to be taken down. We're not going to lose a presidential candidate because somebody doesn't like what he says. But this has struck something different, deeper, an invisible chord.
Well, I think the reason why it hits so hard, especially for, again, people like us, man, is because, you know, we speak our mind all the time. You know, we say crazy shit. And who's to say somebody's not going to take a shot at us at some point because of what we believe in?
Yeah, I agree with that, but I do not get weepy, emotional over. You know, I don't, and this is something different. I think it's because of the wife and the kids and the whole reason that it happened. Here is the vice president and his wife, Usha Vance, when they were yesterday escorting Erica Kirk. Yeah, he wasn't a politician, Lars. He was civilian. It was you, he was me, he was all of us. I didn't see Nick Freitas' response, Sean. If you have a link for it, put it in the chat and I will look at it. I appreciate it. Here is also the image of Charlie's wife yesterday. It's just heartbreaking seeing her face like that. I mean, you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. You just want to defeat them and be done with it. It's the aftermath. But that's why we have to take this on, pick it up, and remember that for everybody, whether you have followers, whether you're online, nobody knows you. Now is the time. You want to honor the memory of Charlie Kirk. You want to honor Irina Zarutska, who was butchered like an animal for no reason after she escaped the meat grinder of the war in Ukraine to come to look for a life in the land of liberty. If you want to honor President Trump, who keeps fighting, if you want to honor all the children who were killed by that trans shooter a few weeks ago, the best way to do that is to do what Charlie did. Stand up, you speak your mind, and you never let anybody silence you.
Okay,
otherwise you have more.
So the BS is already starting, man.
What is it?
Here, I'm gonna send you this link. I know their playbook so well, man.
You were talking about it earlier.
So yeah, this is from Mark Lamont Hill, who's a CNN correspondent. But he just posted this.
They have no character. No character, the media. So, Charlie Kirk's killer was a straight, white, cis Christian male from a Republican family.
That doesn't mean shit.
What does that mean?
Your parents could be Republican. You could be something totally different.
Yeah, exactly. I do like Myron Gaines' response. So, Mark Lamont Hill's a retarded chimp that makes fun of a man less than 48 hours after he was violently killed in front of his children. Whoa.
Yeah.
See, that's where people are coming back.
But again, we know nothing about this guy, and he's claiming that he's a Republican, that he's a Christian.
Right. His family could be. That means nothing.
That means nothing, man. You know how many liberals I know, how many wild fucking pink-haired people I know who have conservative parents? That's probably why they are fucking the way they are, because they want to be opposite of their parents.
Right.
Some fucked up like rebellion shit. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, well, that's like saying your parents are Catholic. Does that mean you're going to be Catholic? There's a chance you may not be.
Dude, Jeffrey Dahmer's parents were conservatives.
Yeah, and he tasted them.
Yeah, they were religious people. What does that even mean?
Nothing. It's they're trying to again come out with a narrative. That's why they have released the video of him receiving his college acceptance letter with his scholarship. That's why they're throwing it out there that he's a conservative. They want to blot the name. That's why I said the murder that was committed, the assassination that was committed against Charlie Kirk is continuing today. There is a second murder that's going on after his character after his name. And they're using that to smear everyone. Look at this girl, right? Look at this girl, how she celebrates. Never did I see anything like this before. You saw this one yesterday?
No, I've seen too many of these, but this one I have not.
I have breaking news. We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah, ooh.
Speechless.
Well, again, fuck around and find out. So I'm just saying, you know, people like they have no idea what they're bringing on themselves.
Yeah. Culture Casino for $5. That clip and many more from the people that publicly celebrated Charlie's death and got some consequences. Yeah. You know that DC writer? Thank you for that, Culture. You know that DC writer?
Yeah, the one that was. Yeah, they fired her. Good. They need to fire all the rest of them as well. The thing that's pissing me off though is like they won't say exactly why they fired her. They're being cowards about that.
Yeah, they are. Because she got fired less than 24 hours after she wrote, and I hope the bullet survived or didn't shatter.
Yeah.
But they can't.
I mean, props to them for hopping on it right away, but get rid of the rest of them.
Yeah, what about Jake Tapper, who last month said last month that Charlie Kirk was a hater? They got rid of Dowd. Go after all. See, that's how you set an example. Go after all of them. Clean house. But I think the president should also pull their license, suspend it, whatever authority he has under our legal system. He needs to hold them to account. I used to believe that the only way we're going to stop the media from lying and propagandizing and programming people was to create legislation that says if you lie about facts, about news, right, that for every minute you tell a lie, whether it's a story about a human being, about a politician, a person, an institution, you have to spend the equal amount of time at the same hour. So if you're in prime time telling lies about Charlie Kirk and you did it for 400 hours straight, you got to spend 400 hours straight not reporting anything else but saying, we lied. Here are the facts. Here's the story. We lied. This is what we said. I think it's the only way. I think it's the only way. We have to put the media down. Jose Taco for $2 approves colleges indoctrinate young kids. It does, absolutely. It does. The media is going to have to suffer. Either we're going to have to hold them to account, not only by speaking out and talking out, but by withholding their money, cutting cable. If you get them on a streaming service, cutting that service, you're going to have to cut their funds off. Okay. Well, I think we covered pretty much everything. I don't think there's anything new. Let me check one more time if there's something new that's come out. If it does, we'll be back. But until then, my prayers and wishes go out to, and condolences go out to Charlie Kirk's family, to his children. May they carry on his message.
That's the part that really sucks, man. It's like these kids have to grow up now without their father, you know?
Yeah. And young man, it's not like this guy was, well, it doesn't matter what age, but
he was only 31, man.
I know he was just living his life. He was just at the beginning. 31 is a baby.
Yeah.
Oh. Chat, you've been amazing. We're all here together going through this. When something else breaks, we'll be back. Thank you for all your support. Moderators, thank you for everything you've done. Lord Thoth, Eric K. Wonderful, big, beautiful souls. You got anything you want to share, Dante?
No, that's it for me, man. I'm not going to plug anything. So.
Okay, good. We'll be back on Sunday where we'll probably be talking about Charlie Kirk and then the culture and whatever else is going on. It just feels wrong to talk about Peacemaker, movie stuff. It just doesn't feel.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
Not the time.
I don't want to talk about them because they're not serious in a way. They impact our culture by helping to rewire it or to give you a few moments of entertainment to veg. But now is a solemn moment. It's also a moment to reflect that we stand up.
Yeah.
Do not let them break you. Remember, we are fighters with one breakable rule. We never bow down. We never bend the knee. And always forward. Rest in peace, Charlie. Bye-bye. Love you all.
See you guys.